Welcome to our channel, where we explore the fascinating story of Edinburgh's streets. Today, we're diving into the fascinating story of Edinburgh's old city walls. Edinburgh has long been a strategic stronghold. With its ancient volcanic crags, its natural defences made it a perfect location for fortification. Castle Rock's natural defences were the result of glaciers in the last ice age. The crag and tail formation of the landscape was the result of glacier moving across the land from west to east. The Castle Crags was home to many fortified structures over the centuries. Excavations beginning in the late 1980s within Edinburgh Castle have proved what was long suspected, that the Castle Rock has been occupied since about 1000 BC. Eventually, settlements expanded out from the crags down the tail, what is now known as the Royal Mile. Originally, ditches and small wooden palisades would have protected the town. However, such defences did not protect the town sufficiently, as would be seen in the Middle Ages. In one such occasion, in 1296, King Edward I occupied Edinburgh Castle after a 3-day siege. In 1313, Thomas Randolph, 1st Earl of Moray, would retake the castle in a surprise night attack and return the city back to the Scots' control. Following the capture of the castle, Robert the Bruce ordered its destruction, denying future use by the English. Following the Wars of Independence, Edinburgh Castle was repaired and once again became a centre of Scottish power. Due to ongoing hostility with the English, more needed to be done to protect the castle and town from attack. Part 1. The King's Wall. The first recording of the King's Wall was in 1427, in a title deed which refers to the wall as the property boundary. In 1450, King James II issued a charter permitting the burgesses of Edinburgh to defend their town.
Inasmuch as we are informed by our well-beloved Provost and community of Edinburgh that they dread the evil and injury of our enemies of England, we have in favour of them, and for the zeal and affection that we have for the Provost and community of our said borough, and for the common profit granted to them full licence and leave to fosse, bulwark, wall, tower, turret and other ways to strengthen our said borough, in what manner of ways or degree that be seen most speedful to them. Given under our great seal at Stirling the last day of April, and of our reign the 13th year, Anno 1450.
On April 28, 1472, King James III issued a further royal charter ordering the demolition of houses built on or outside the King's Wall. These structures were obstructing efforts to strengthen Edinburgh's defences. This decree made Edinburgh one of only 3 Scottish towns, alongside Stirling and Perth, to boast medieval stone walls. Other towns relied on earth walls or wooden palisades. He also ordered the damming of the Tummelburn to create a large man-made loch that would be known as the Nor Loch. The fortifications made in the 1400s have thus become known as the King's Wall. The King's Wall started at the base of David's Tower, which was destroyed in the Lang Siege of 1573. It ran down the slope towards the Grass Market and then made a sharp turn east. An area of the wall can still be seen today at Castle Wynd South. The wall would have ran north-east, then east, working its way through what are buildings today, the tenements and St Columbo's Church. It would have cut across what was known then as Upper Bow with a small port. It then dropped south over today's Victoria Street. Archaeological excavations between 2002 and 2004 by Headland Archaeology uncovered significant new evidence about the wall's course. Previously thought to run along the south side of the Royal Mile above the Cowgate, the discovery of remains of the King's Wall in the Cowgate pushed its southern boundary further down. 2019 also saw fortifications discovered where the Virgin Hotel now stands. These discoveries, along with a massive fortification ditch found during excavations at St Patrick's Church, suggest that much of the medieval town's defences were actually situated along the north side of the Cowgate, rather than halfway up the slope. The wall's alignment was fairly irregular, as it incorporated existing property boundaries and walls, reinforcing them to create a formidable defence. Side gates or posterns provided extra access points. Just south of where St Patrick's Church is today, the wall turned north towards the Royal Mile. Another surviving part of the King's Wall can be visited here in Tweeddale Court. The original Netherbow stood about 46 metres further west than its later replacement, which we will visit in part 2. The original port would have likely been fortified with a gate and towers. A wall protecting the city from the northeast would have run north then west towards the dam of the Norloch, roughly where North Bridge stands today. It's fascinating to think that the shape of the Cowgate was dictated by these original walls. In times of strife, sentries would have been stationed at key points looking out into what are now streets. Much of Edinburgh's architecture and character are a direct result of the constraints the city walls had on the old town. As expanding outside the city walls was risky, buildings increased significantly in height. The story of the King's Wall keeps changing as more archaeological discoveries are made, and much of it will be lost to time as it was demolished and material recycled. Thanks for watching the video, we hope you enjoyed it. Look out for our next video where we will explore the 2 later walls, the Flodden Wall and the Telfer Wall. Like and subscribe if you want to hear more stories about Edinburgh streets.